Hello everyone and welcome back to another Assetto Corsa video. This time we are taking out the Mark IV Supra. But before we get into this video and we get these runs in, I need you guys to do me a favor. Get down, hit that like button, comment on the video, subscribe to the channel. I really want this thing to grow. And another thing before we get this video started, I got my first Patreon. So if you guys want to join the winner circle, link down below, do that and your name will be somewhere in this video. Some maybe at the beginning, maybe at the end, maybe somewhere in the middle. But my Patreons will for sure be on the description of this video. Not description, but somewhere on the screen. That way you guys can know who's sponsoring my channel, who's sponsoring my content, and who's sponsoring my growth. So I'm really grateful for that. I never thought that I would get one Patreon and to have one, and for that individual to pledge more than what I ask is, I'm just grateful for that. Now we're going to be out here against this 33. As we come up to the Rainbow Bridge, as there's a MR2 on the road. The 33 is actually, it's an anomaly, if I can speak right, my lord. It's an anomaly because it has faster acceleration than the V-Spec Performance. But it doesn't have the same top speed. It's actually slower. They nerfed it. It's faster than the Omori R34, but it does handle a little bit better. It has 245 with tires on it, which don't help when you're trying to go faster on the corner. You just don't have the grip, and especially in street tires, that's even more exaggerated. You just don't have the grip that you need to go fast, and you can see that. And I'm not even really taking the best lines here in this Supra, but I'm able to get away from this 33 pretty easily, just because you have to be very delicate in that car on the throttle and the brakes, because any wrong move and that car's going to start sliding around, and it's very hard to control that car when it's sliding. I do have a video on here of me driving that car pretty quick, but for me to get to that point, I was driving for like an hour before I can get to the point to where I can drive that car really fast around the C1 and C2 loop. So, and like I said, I'm not taking the best lines here. I'm not even really going that fast. I'm just able to get away from it. But when I first start out, I kind of like to go on my own for a little bit, just so whatever car I'm driving, I can kind of get used to it. This Supra I haven't driven in such a long time. It's not a bad car, but it does have a lot of understeer. And for it to be a Time Attack car, it's kind of strange for it to have this amount of understeer. But I mean, that again, that could be my own settings. But I have the car to where it pretty much, I don't want the car to slide on me. So that's how I have the car set up. Of course, I'm running no traction control, so I don't use that. That just kills the acceleration in the car. But it does have a lot of understeer. As you can see here, we hit this wall, and I got so used to driving the V-Spec Performance R34 where, I can get the car to slide just a tiny bit, whereas this car, I don't want it sliding at all. So, that could be on me. But coming through this part here, there is a better line to take, but I didn't use it just because my computer lags so much, and it's very difficult to drive quick when your computer is, not wanting to be as quick as you are driving. So I just scaled back on my driving down to like 80%, not going full out, especially through this part, because you're going so quick in these turns. They're not the sharpest turns, but you can overdo it very easily. Coming up to this tunnel right here, there's a sign right there that like pink and purplish sign. I usually like to brake around there, try to get into this tunnel. Typically you can go a little bit quicker through here, but the car was a little bit unsettled because I didn't take a good line and I got on the throttle a little bit too quick. And I start lagging also because there's cars coming. Right here, brake on that lettering on the floor, and that should get you through there pretty quick. And the same thing up here, seeing that sign, get off the throttle, let the car steer in on its own a little bit, and that's pretty much how I drive through this tunnel. There's really not that much to it. You can go a little bit quicker through here, but I'm still trying to get used to the car, still trying to get used to how much is going to slide out on me and all that stuff. So we find this R34 GTR. This is the Amore version. And one thing about me in this game, I'm not the best at following people. You know, I kind of get a little bit too excited when someone's in front of me. I tend to make a lot of mistakes. So one thing I want to do while I have my old setup is get better at following people in this game as we try to follow this 34 for a little bit. And I do make a couple of mistakes because I think for me, like I tend to watch what the car in front of me is doing instead of just watching the road. I get stuck kind of gazing a little bit, and that's one thing I do. Like I said, I do want to improve. So I think we're going to make a mistake here and run slightly wide. Not here. It wasn't here. It was somewhere else. But I tend to make a lot of mistakes as we come to this tunnel. This is where I hit the wall at because I was watching him go around that corner instead of me just taking my own line. We're just gonna hit the wall, make a little bit of a mistake. And I'm not trying to talk like I'm trying to be the fastest guy in the game, because for me this is just fun. It's serious fun, but this is where we hit the wall. For me this is just a little serious fun. What I mean by that is, I want to be quick, but at the same time, it's not the end of the world if I'm not quick in this game. Doesn't really mean anything. But sometimes, like when you play games like this, and when you're trying to have a little competition with somebody, you can get into your ego a little bit, and I try to avoid that when I'm playing games, because at the end of the day, it's just a game. So we're gonna come up here through the tunnel. I think we're on the outer loop now. And I'm not going as quick as I probably could through here. Like I said earlier, my computer just doesn't want to cooperate. When I come out of here, when you come up to this next turn, there's like a little bit of a exit ramp that you want to use. Typically, you want to be all the way inside of it. I wasn't quite, but you want to try to get as close to that little corner as you can to get a good run out of this tunnel. It really, really helps, because if you just take that corner kind of normal, you don't use that exit ramp, you're really, really slow coming out. And here I'm just gonna pretty much drive away from this 34 because I got, I think, better corner exit speed. Let's take a look back, and you see that he's not really back there, and I'm just gonna continue to drive away from him. Like, I'm not gonna wait for him. This is the part where this is the serious part, but for me it's still fun. He's going to catch back up because the 34 does have good straight line speed. Right here, I didn't want him to pass me, so instead of running all the way out to that exit and getting that good run to the next corner, I just keep it tight so he can't get around me, because he is right behind me at this point. I'm going to try to keep him at bay, try to get these next couple of corners right, try to get away from him. This is where that friendly competition comes in. I think I'm going to make a mistake, and he's going to hit the wall there too, and he's going to get really unsettled. Doesn't hit me up that bad because I hit it mostly on the side of the car. I didn't hit the front of the rear. If you hit the front of the rear of the car, the quarter panels, the front and rear quarter panels, that's when the car really spins. But if you hit the wall kind of flat, like on the side, it doesn't really upset the car that much. And I was pretty much able to get away from him. Just drive away. I saw another car coming down from the Rainbow Bridge, so I want to see what kind of car this was. I believe it was an S2000. I really want to try to catch up to this car because the S2000, both of them are really good. I've driven the Amuse one. I didn't record it because I was really just trying to get used to the car. But the other one, which is not nearly as quick, but in a straight line, but it is really, really fast to the corners. You can just take that S2000, it's the same MR2 again, just parked in the middle of the road. You can just take that S2000 through the corners, it's unbelievably fast. I really need to make a video on the S2000. I don't think I have any setups for it, so I need to drive it, get a good tune on it, and take it out, because you can just carry so much speed to the corners. But a car like that, I want to make sure that I at least have my new PC. That way I can really push it, because even through here, I don't push too hard just because I know my computer is going to drop frames through here. So I'm really just not trying to do anything too crazy. I'm trying to keep the car settled, especially coming through this part right here, this little mini tunnel, because you can really just crash. A lot of crashes right there. I've crashed there so many times, and I just take it slow through there, come out here, and try to put the power down, and you can just see the S3000 is just gone. It really is. Okay, come up here to this little exit, and the S2000 it's just gonna get away from me. I'm not gonna be able to catch it, and you know, maybe I wasn't driving as hard as I could, or maybe that S2000 driver was just better. You know, the thing about this game is, as good as you think you are, you're always going to run into somebody that's going to be, you know, way better than you, and especially if they have a wheel, because they're gonna have much smoother steering inputs. When you're with a controller, you can be smooth, but you're still a little bit herky jerky. As we tap the wall just a little bit there, you know, it's that understeer again coming back to bite us. But this is one of my favorite parts of this map coming through here. And the crazy thing is like most of these roads I've driven on. When I went to the Tokyo Auto Saloon back in 2020, I was actually out driving these roads. And every time I play this game, you know, I remember, you know, the part of the road that I drove on specifically, and I remember coming through here. And just because like that day, like those couple of days were so chaotic, I didn't really just to get to sit back and enjoy it, you know. So I would definitely like to go back to be able to drive these roads and just to be able to enjoy it, because I had the homie with me, and not that it was a burden, but it was just like we were staying in separate places. So I was, you know, driving around a lot, trying to film, trying to do this, trying to do that. So it was more of like a work thing than it was a vacation for me, just to, you know, to take back the fact that I'm driving on such famous and iconic roads, you know. And you can see the S2000, it's just gone. That car is unbelievably fast in this game, and I really need to do a video on it. I think it's probably going to be one of the next ones that I do. I do have a couple of other ones that I've already filmed with the 34 again, and I have another one with the Evo 5. But the S2000 is really an I think it's a slept-on car. As we come around the rest area again, there's a 34 that just came out, and there's just no way you're gonna catch this 34. That 34 has unbelievable top end. It's insane. It's so quick in a straight line, and if you know how to drive it, which I think I've figured out how to drive that car faster on the C1 and C2 loop, it does really reward you well for driving it fast. Coming up here, I like to brake just before the entrance to the ramp, or when it starts to incline, really. And I think I make a mistake here. I think I hit the wall right there. Yeah, I hit the wall right there. Just trying to do too much. I really wanted to catch the 34, and I was telling myself the only way I can really have a chance to catch him is through the corners, because, you know, a lot like the Supra, he's gonna have to slow down. But I made a mistake, and you can just see that car is unbelievably fast. It really is a fun car to drive, and some people find it obnoxiously loud and annoying, but it's a great car. I really love it, and I can't wait to have an R34 of my own one day. Now we're coming up over the Rainbow Bridge here, and I'm still thinking to myself that, hey, I can catch this R34 still, because he's not really that far ahead of me, especially coming through this part. He's gonna have to slow down here, and then the other ramp is going to slow down on. Now what winds up happening here is my controller decides that it wants to go ahead and disconnect. You know, unfortunately, it's some of the things that happen, you know. So I'm trying to figure out what happened. I'm looking at my controller light. It's still connected. I unplug it and plug it back in, and the 34 is just gone. So I had to just hold that L. So after taking a little bit of a break, we come back, and this is the part where we want to talk about, you know, having your ego in this game, and how it doesn't really help You know, we're gonna come out and we're gonna get behind this S2000. Did I say Evo earlier? I might have said Evo, but we're gonna get behind this S2000. And I'm thinking to myself, like, this is gonna be a good run because while the S2000, you know, handles a little bit better, the Supra is better than a straight line, and they're kind of similar cars. They're more well balanced toward each other. So again, like I said, I'm not the best at following, so I'm gonna miss my braking point. I brake way too late, halfway up the bridge, and you can see that gets me understeering to the corner, and I get well acquainted with the wall there, become best friends really. And now I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go. He's gonna let me by, which is I'm not gonna say it's a disrespect thing, but it's more like he's proven that at this point that he's better than me. I mean, fair play, which he is, because you know I'm not really used to this car, so I think he's gonna get around me here. Is it here? Yeah, he's gonna get a better run up the Rainbow Bridge. Oh no, he's gonna stay behind. So he stays behind me right now. I think he's gonna pass me through this corner. Coming down the bridge is when he's gonna get around me. He's gonna sneak through right there. He's gonna get through, and our car's gonna get a little bit unsettled. And what he's gonna start doing, he's gonna start weaving, which is kind of a taunt. And this activates ego mode. So now I'm driving like, okay, I know I can get around this guy. You know what I'm saying? And he gets a really good line through that corner. He took the line you want to take, and I didn't. And he's still up there doing that little weaving thing, which is annoying me. And I'm thinking to myself, I can catch this guy. I can catch this guy. And I'm in full ego mode now. And he's really up there just taunting me, you know, having a good time, just doing his thing. And I'm just like so in my ego, just like, I got to catch him. I have to catch him. As I take another poor line, instead of just, you know, relaxing and playing the game, we come to the tunnel and he's just going to disappear. He's gone. All right, we're getting into our last couple of clips of this video. And if you guys are really enjoying this video, please do me a favor and go ahead and subscribe. It really helps the channel out as we wait on this MR2 to catch up to us. This MR2 is an interesting car in this game because I think it has really good straight line speed and really good handling, but I think the brakes in this car are still something left to be desired. Now, I haven't driven this car since they've updated it, and I probably should give this car another go. The older version of the car was pretty good, but I think there was something left to be desired in the braking department. But you know, it's, as a developer, when they're making this game, it is kind of hard to, you know, make these cars, you know, to where they're just not too OP. I think every car in this game has a flaw, and I think that's what makes it kind of unique and kind of challenging to drive. And as we see the Supra here struggling to get through these slower corners, maybe this is something I can look into my suspension setup, and maybe I can get the front end to turn in a little bit better. But my general consensus of this car is that it does have very, very poor turning on the especially on the slow corners. The sweepers is not as bad as long as you can get your lines right. I mean, that's true in any car, but you know, most cars you can get them to rotate, but the Supra it does not like to rotate, which is, you know, odd for it being a Time Attack car. Here, I missed my braking point by a mile. You know, I should have braked way early in that corner. We get our first tap from the MR2. No harm, no foul there. And I really learned my lesson from the last clip not to get, you know, too emotional about what happens in this game. Just let it be. I'm sure he didn't, you know, run into me on purpose. It's not like he's trying to be, you know, kind of a douchebag and ran me intentionally. So, you know, we're just trying to have some good runs. Like I said, I think that car has poor braking, so and the Supra is kind of not good at turning, so you really have to slow down and get the car to turn. Coming through this section, he's got a good run on me here, but you know, the Supra really doesn't like to rotate, even on that fast sweeper. And coming through here again, he's just going to get my rear quarter panel. I think it's going to get him pretty unsettled coming through this last part. But we're going to move forward, and we're going to be coming around the parking area again. And now we're joined by a white R34. This one is the Omori version. And that car does have pretty good top end speed. Not as good as the V-Spec, but it is faster in a straight line than this Time Attack Supra. And in my setup, I have the wing at an angle for the handling, just because I think the handling in this car does leave some things to be desired as the R34 gets bent out of shape. And we're just gonna squeeze through right there, coming up to the Rainbow Bridge. I mean, technically we are on the Rainbow Bridge now. And through this section, I think I'm gonna get a poor run, and the MR2 is gonna get by. Just like a lot of understeer. I couldn't get the car to stay planted through there. So I got a poor run, so I'm not going as fast as I need to be going. And then the R34 is going to come through. And I'm going to miss my braking point again. And I'm going to have a very, very, very poor run over this bridge, as I'm trying to catch back up to these two. And I think you can see it up in the distance, the MR2 got bent out of shape into the wall. I think the R34 is going to slow down and wait for us both. Yeah, the R34 is going pretty slow right here. He's waiting for us. So we're going to catch up to the R34 here in just a moment and get past him. I feel like this car is good, but I think that if we were able to get, you know, semi-slick tires on these servers, I think that would make the racing so much better, because it's going to help you in the braking and the handling department, especially. I think that's our third tap from the MR2 for keeping count. Maybe I'll put a counter on the screen of how many times the MR2 runs into the back of us here. And, you know, it's nothing that serious. Like I said, I don't think he's trying to do it. I just think that car doesn't have good braking. And like I said, with the semi-slick tires, you know, it would help all the cars out with their braking and handling. And especially in the game where a lot of people do take this server pretty seriously. And I just think it's going to make for cleaner runs. And I know they want to keep it more like, you know, the old style and, you know, having period correct tires. But some of the mods these cars have anyway are not really all that period correct. Coming through here, I don't take the optimal line, and we get another love tap from the MR2. Gets us bent out of shape. And here, like, I just let the guy know that, hey, look, I'm not upset about it. It's not a big deal. I think I rode it here. Just a cheeky corner, which that is a hard corner to take. You know, you really need to be outside on the exit line to get that corner right. And I took it very, very narrow. We're gonna be coming up through here through the corner, and I think the MR2 is gonna get a pretty good run on me here. Coming out of the tunnel, he's gonna get around me, and I'm just gonna kind of let him by. Just let him go. And I think the R34 gets into, he hit something. I didn't look back to see what he hit, but you can see on the bottom right hand of the screen, that little black dot. He is very far behind us, so we just cruised, and we let him catch up to us. I didn't feel like slowing down too much because I didn't want to, you know, have my tires to warm back up. You know, that's always kind of a pain when you're trying to go fast on cold tires. So MR2 is going to hit the wall here. And this is an area of the track that I'm not really that familiar with. I've been trying to get better at it, but it's a very hard section to get right. We're going to get a tap from the R34. It's going to let us back by. Now, the R34 does have better top end speed. I'm going to do a video on the R34 too, because for that car to have less power than the V-Spec, it slides a whole lot more. In some cases, it handles worse. This right here is a very, very fast section of the freeway, of the expressway, whatever you want to call it. Very, very difficult to get right because you're going pretty much full throttle, and then after you come up over this hill right here, it's gonna bend to the right, and there's gonna be like a little dip in the freeway right there, and your car bottoms out and it gets really unsettled. And you really have to slow down, and I didn't get the car slowed down enough to get that corner right, and we're going to get hit from behind by the R34 again. So it's a hard part of the freeway to get right. And I know it's an expressway, but, you know, I live in America now. I don't really have to say expressway. You guys know what I'm talking about. Anyway, we're going to continue this last little bit of our run, coming by this rest area right here. And that's probably one of the biggest things I miss about Japan is the convenience stores. Man, they're just so good. Just really good. Coming through here, I think I was trying to really figure how to take that corner in this car. And I don't think I got it that right because I didn't get a really good run. And the R34 is right behind me, so I was like, okay, I'm going to take the inside line. But what I forgot is, you know, the expressway turns left there, so he's able to get, you know, a really good pass on me. And I think that's one of the better moves that I've seen done. Just because I should have stayed really on the outside, made him take the inside, and I would have had the outside or the inside for that next corner. But you know, that's pretty much gonna wrap this one up. I want to give a big shout out to all of my supporters, my Patreons. If you guys like this content, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I really want this thing to grow, so just subscribe, you know. And this is my first time giving commentary, so give your thoughts down below on whether I should continue that or not. And we will have more of these videos coming out soon. I'm working on some other things for the channel as well. And again, I just appreciate you all for your support, not abandoning my channel on my off time. And I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much.